Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please be seated. Good morning, and welcome to the college commencement ceremony for the engineering graduate class of fall 2017. I'm Srinivas Palanki, and I'm the Dean of the College of Engineering. We are here to recognize and honor our graduates for successfully completing their program of study. Congratulations to each one of you for achieving your goal. Would those receiving a doctoral degree please stand and receive our applause? Please be seated. Would those receiving master's degrees please stand and receive our applause? Please be seated. Would those receiving bachelor's degrees please stand and receive our applause? Please be seated. We are also here to celebrate and thank all those who in some way helped these graduates achieve their goal. Certainly, that starts with the parents of the graduates. Would the parents of the graduates please stand and receive our applause? Please be seated. Would the spouses, children, grandparents, grandchildren, and other relatives of our graduates please stand and be recognized? Please be seated. Would the friends of our graduates please stand and be recognized? Please be seated. Thank you for the support you have provided to our graduates. Please allow me to introduce those on stage. Please hold your applause until each group is introduced. As your name is called, please stand and remain standing until all of your group is introduced. Seated front row on my right and your left are Dr. Kenneth Evans, President of Lamar University, Dr. James Marquardt, Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs, Dr. Brenda Nichols, Associate Provost, Mr. Craig Ness, Vice President for Finance and Operations, Dr. John Bello Ugunu, Vice President of Diversity and Inclusion, Ms. Priscilla Parsons, Vice President of Information Technology, Dr. William Hahn, Dean of the Graduate College, Dr. Kevin Dodson, Dean of the Rio Honors College. Please give our members of the Lamar University Leadership Group your applause. Please be seated. Now I'd like to introduce the College of Engineering leadership team. Seated to my left and your right are Mr. Lance Boudreau, Vice President, Global EPC's Emerson Automation Solution, and our guest speaker this morning. Dr. Singwei Chu, Chair of the Department of Mechanical Engineering. Mr. Kyle Edwards, Civil Engineering student and our student speaker. Dr. Jerry Lynn, Senior Director of Graduate Programs, College of Engineering. Dr. Peyton Richmond, Director of Undergraduate Programs, College of Engineering. Dr. Brian Craig, Chair of the Department of Industrial Engineering. Dr. Holly Myler, Chair of the Philip M. Dreyer Department of Electrical Engineering. Dr. Liv Hasselbach, Chair of the Department of Civil and Environmental Engineering. Dr. Thomas Ho, Chair of the Dan F. Smith Department of Chemical Engineering. Mr. David Short, Registrar. Please give the College of Engineering leadership team your applause. I would also like to give a very special welcome to Mrs. Nancy Evans, Mrs. Cecilia Marquardt, and Ms. Van An Win, who are in attendance this morning. Representatives of the College of Engineering faculty are seated to my left and my right. Please stand and receive our applause. Please be seated. Our vocalist is Serdar Ilban, Associate Professor of Voice and Vocal Area Coordinator. Dr. Andrew McMahon, Director of Bands, and members of the Lamar Brass Ensemble. Their music adds so much to this special occasion. Our reader for the names of the graduate this morning is Elohar O'Keen, undergraduate student in chemical engineering. Please give a round of applause to Mr. David Short, our registrar, who organized this whole event, and his team. These folks have worked so hard to make this a success. I'd like to tell you a few facts about Lamar University. This information is for those of you who might be guests from out of town or from out of the country, and local folks may hear something they didn't know about Lamar. Lamar University continues to grow in population with every semester. Our students come to Lamar University to get a world-class education. A great majority of your students are from Southeast Texas, but several students come from abroad. In fact, 12 different countries are represented here today. Excuse me. Today, we have 151 graduates. Out of these, there are 3 doctoral degree candidates, 122 master's degree candidates, and 26 bachelor's degree candidates. Today, we have a very special guest with us to give the commencement address, Mr. Lance Boudreau, who currently serves as the Vice President of Global EPCs at Emerson Automation Systems. Mr. Boudreau exemplifies the Lamar Engineering graduate. He earned his Bachelor of Science in Industrial Technology in 1985 and has over 31 years of experience in the automation and control industry in various fields such as sales, strategic planning, management, and business development. It is with great honor I welcome Mr. Lance Boudreau.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It was 32 years ago today that I sat where you sit, graduate candidates. So welcome, congratulations. It's a pleasure and an honor to speak with everyone this morning. So here we go. Graduates, today you stand at a crossroad. Down one path is destruction and annihilation. Down the other is hopelessness and despair. May your generation choose wisely. Now, this sounds nonsensical and rather stark, but it is exactly what we face today. What we desperately need are people of wisdom who can guide this generation down a perilous road ahead. For example, How do you decide between a better environment and the jobs it will cost? The dignity of employment and our stewardess over creation both demand moral attention. It is a cleaner river worth regulations that eliminate 30, 300, or 3,000 jobs? How do you weigh cleaner air against the broken spirit of the unemployed? How do you choose between fighting poverty and fighting dependency? This is not the politics of triumph and trumpets. It is the occupation of restless nights and troubled days. Sometimes every option is tainted by suffering and sadness. Sometimes each alternative is made uncomfortable by a hybrid of good and evil. Sometimes we are left with a murky battle between bad and worse. This is not relativism. The principles themselves are clear and immutable. But in a fallen world, one is often set against the other. Stewardship against compassion, generosity against independence, respect for life against the suffering of the sick. It means something very personal to those who participate in these choices. No matter what the decision is made, the outcome will cause doubt. It means the loss of certainty and peace. It means mistakes, self-reproach, and guilt. It means scar tissue and calluses. You find that character sometimes consists of how you act on the second or third try. You find that integrity is a voyage, not a harbor. This, as they say, is the real world with its fogs of mornings and evening and its sudden storms. Ladies and gentlemen, we have unfortunately left you a world that is teetering on its axis. On one hand, we face global warming that threatens the crops and coastlines, yet we now have 7 billion mouths to feed, which requires the use of more of our planet's resources. Being a technologist by degree who is principally involved in the broad spectrum hydrocarbon and chemical processing industry, I have asked myself these questions. Is it environmentally responsible to continue to pump and burn oil knowing that we are contributing to global warming, or do we provide power to another 250 million people in sub-Saharan Africa, thereby improving their lives through better health, better education, and more productive lives? These are tough questions that get tougher each year. Now, we are handing that baton to you today. We are asking that you step up to the challenge. Sometimes the greatest enemy is paralysis. An odd courage is needed to choose when a choice is torn by moral conflict to walk in an unfamiliar land without landmarks. After the facts are collected, after the principles are defined, after the prayers are offered, a decision is required. Those who make them carefully are drained of self-righteousness. Moral choice begins with surrender. It completes itself in humility. The response of some is to withdraw and separate. They have my respect, but not my agreement. Men and women were not made for safety. It has been said that the fullness of life is in the hazards of life, and even in our worst failure, we experience the powerful alchemy of the resurrection, which turns defeat into victory. What the world needs desperately today is men and women of moral courage who are willing to swim against the current of culture. The path will often be lonely and treacherous. For example, I'm reminded of June 25th, 2009. On that day, pop star singer Michael Jackson died. The news came alive with the accolades and tributes to the king of pop. What is little known is that on the same day, a relatively unknown agricultural scientist named Norman Borlaug also passed away. But nary a word was uttered on the news of his passing. Who's that, you ask? Norman Borlaug labored in the fields of Asia for years developing a disease-resistant form of wheat that single-handedly is responsible for 2 billion additional people being alive on our planet today. For this accomplishment, Dr. Borlaug was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 1970. Which path will you go down today? Hopefully, the fine education you have received right here at Lamar, you will be able to navigate well, not only for yourself, but also for a world that needs wise guidance. Too hard, you say? Well, I can tell you from my own experience that true happiness will only be achieved when you exercise two qualities: creativity, doing something others have never done; significance, doing something that makes the world a better place for someone other than yourself. Use these two principles as your guideposts, and you will navigate the road well ahead indeed. Okay, we are now at the crossroads. Which one will you take? Fortunately, Lamar has propelled you well. Now you can begin your journey. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Boudreau. Now we have another special address from one of our graduates here today. Kyle Edwards is a double major in civil engineering and mathematics and has been an integral part of the Lamar engineering community. He is an engineering ambassador, serves as a member of the Student-Faculty Relations Committee, and a member of several honor societies. He is also a member of the American Society of Civil Engineers, a peer tutor, and is part of the 150 Gospel Choir. Basically, Kyle has done it all. It is my pleasure to introduce Kyle Edwards.
Good morning. To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the heaven. It's our time. It's time to take a break from the class routine and the 6-page-long homework solutions. It's time to sleep for more than 3 hours during the night without waking up in a panic about what deadline or exam you missed. It's time to relax and celebrate our achievements, but only for a moment, because it is also a time to take the next big leap of faith. Speaking of which, I think it's only fitting that I take a few moments to tell you about my most recent leap of faith. On August 2nd of 2013, I boarded a Boeing 737 American Airlines flight and traveled some 17 hours from St. Kitts and Nevis in the Caribbean to Beaumont, Texas, beginning a journey that would ultimately lead to this moment. I had 3 pieces of luggage, just about enough money to pay for 1/2 of my first semester of school, a goal in mind, and a sprinkle of hope that somehow this would all work out. My student loans hadn't been approved yet, wasn't sure about how I was going to get through the first 2 months, wasn't really sure what I was getting myself into. But it was a leap of faith, so it wouldn't be the same without some uncertainty. Many of you took similar leaps of faith, perhaps without even realizing it at the time. For some, you knew that you wanted to go to college, but you weren't sold on a major yet. For others, you didn't even think that it would be possible to see it through to the end. In some way, we all took a leap of faith, and judging by the cap and gown you're wearing, I'd say things are working out pretty well. Of course, the journey to get to this point hasn't been easy or even pleasant. If it has, why wasn't I invited to your study groups? Or maybe you're just at the wrong ceremony. There were days when I asked myself, why didn't I choose a simpler degree? Like, well, anything else really. At one point in frustration and exhaustion, I told one of my professors that I was just going to pack my bags and go home. Her response was certainly not what I expected to hear, but it was definitely what I needed to hear. She said, "You should quit. If you want to give up after getting this far, then you should go home." I won't say which professor said this to me, but Dr. Chin's words resonated that day with me. Sometimes you will become overwhelmed and discouraged, But in those times, you must learn how to take a step back and look at the obstacles you have already overcome. And then having done that, determine whether or not you want all that to go to waste and be in vain. Despite the challenging semesters and the 20-hour days, I think it's safe to say on behalf of the graduating class that our experience at Lamar has been a deeply rewarding one. The personal interaction with classmates and faculty that this institution facilitates so well is something that is quite invaluable. A large amount of my learning experiences came in the form of one-on-one interactions with professionals in industry and the faculty here. I mean, where else could you possibly expect to spend the afternoon gardening with the First Lady of the university, something I enjoyed dearly and dearly miss doing with my mom. Thank you, Mrs. Evans, for making me feel right at home. I also enjoyed the opportunity to work with professors and students from different disciplines of engineering and even different colleges on campus. So what's the next big leap for you? Do you start your dream job on Monday? Are you pursuing a higher academic certification? Wherever your decision takes you, never get so caught up in earning a living that you forget to have a life. Enjoy and appreciate the people around you. Take time to look at the larger picture. Doing so will give you a sense of purpose and direction necessary to be excellent in whatever you do. Never forget that the career path you have chosen does not place you above those around you, but instead it places you in service to them. In everything you do, do it with a passion. Love what you do. Remain humble and teachable. And as my mother would always say, just do your best. Speaking of my mother, I would like to dedicate this moment to honoring her and my father for making all this possible. I would also like to extend my deepest gratitude to my siblings, relatives, and my adopted Lamar family for all the encouragement and support, both emotional and financial, you all provided me during my time here. My coworkers at Chartwell's, I love you guys so much. Dr. Titus, Dr. Brake, Dr. Chin, Dr. Couch, Dr. Lin, and all my other mentors, thank you for all your words of guidance, wisdom, and encouragement. You may never know the full extent of the impact that you had on my life. And to my choir family, Psalm 1. Thanks for all the prayers and love that you showed me over the years. Inasmuch as it would bring me overwhelming joy to yell at the top of my lungs, we did it, and have this arena erupt in applause, I will opt to say something that I hope will give you a tingling sensation of eagerness that will last for the rest of your life. We are about to do it. We are about to usher in the technological advances that the world has been waiting for. We are about to revolutionize our respective disciplines with new ideas and perspectives. We are about to slip our feet into the shoes of those who have gone before us and brought us to today. We are about to be the persons who designed that bridge or developed that new form of energy, or who breathed mechanical life into that mind-blowing new car. I have a thing for cars too. We are about to be the persons who bring businesses and economies back from the brink of extinction. We are about to do it. And if we do it right, on that truly wonderful day when we decide to take the rest of our lives off from work, we will be able to look around at the work we have done and the legacy we have contributed to and say with great pride, then, we did it. Congratulations, class of 2017.
Thank you, Mr. Edwards. Now, a few words especially for our graduates. On behalf of the Lamar University administration, the College of Engineering leadership team, the faculty and staff of your academic department, congratulations on achieving this very significant milestone in your life. Each of you has worked hard, made new friends, received guidance and support from your family, Lamar faculty and staff, and friends. This ceremony has three purposes. The first and foremost is to formally celebrate your achievement. Second is to thank those who supported and helped you along the way. And the third is to begin the next phase of your life. You will set new goals and pursue them with the same or even higher levels of dedication. My wish for you is that you set the right goals. Set them high enough so that you must work both smart and hard to achieve them. And then you will feel that happiness that comes from seeing your hard work and excellent preparation pay off. It has been said many times that success is at the intersection of hard work and preparation. You have been prepared and encouraged to pursue learning as a lifelong endeavor. Always seek new knowledge because the world is changing faster than ever before, and change will continue to accelerate. So your knowledge and skills will need continuous updating. Socrates said, and I quote, "The unexamined life is not worth living," unquote. Continue to ask yourself, if I continue on my current path, will I arrive where I want to be? Is my goal still the one that I really want to pursue? If not, set a new goal and change course so that you can be successful. We will now have the certification of graduates. President Evans, please join me. Will the candidates for doctorate degrees please stand and remain standing? Will the candidates for all master's degrees please stand and remain standing? Will the candidates for all baccalaureate degrees please stand and remain standing?
Well, let me begin by saying, Mr. Boudreau and Edwards, thank you for your comments this morning, and thank you for the courage of your convictions. To the class of fall of 2017, you have persevered under very difficult circumstances this semester, and congratulations to each and every one of you. Now, I have the best job in the place. My job is to confer your degrees, so here we go. By the authority vested in me and Lamar University by the Board of Regents of the Texas State University System, I confer upon you the degree for which you have been certified, admitting you to all the rights and privileges which throughout the world pertain to those degrees. Now you're all engineers, so this test is not that hard, but you got to pass it. You're going to be asked to move your tassel from the front right to the front left. You can do it. Congratulations, graduates.
Please be seated. It is now time to announce graduates' names and have them come forward to be recognized. We will begin with the doctoral degrees, then the master's degrees, followed by the Bachelor of Science in Engineering and Technology in various departments. We are going to have the Order of the Engineer ceremony at the end of this presentation. Dr. Marquardt, please come forward to present our doctoral candidates. Dean Hahn, please join me, President Evans, and Registrar Short on the front stage.
Thank you, Dean Polanki. I am pleased to present the name of Kasamsak Kikjanapaiboon and his Hooding professor, Shijun Fan. Kasamsak has been recommended by the Dean of Graduate Studies, Dr. Bill Harm, and by the graduate faculty for the Doctor of Engineering and Mechanical Engineering. Kasamsak and Dr. Fan, please come to the platform for the Hooding ceremony. Congratulations, Dr. Kish Kajjanapaiboon. pleased to present the name of Soheil Aruji and his hooding professor, Nicholas Brake. Mr. Aruji has been recommended by the Dean of Graduate Studies, Dr. Harn, and by the graduate faculty for the Doctor of Engineering in Civil Engineering. Mr. Aruji and Dr. Brake, please come forward to the platform for the hooding ceremony. Congratulations, Dr. Aruji.
And now we will start with a Master of Engineering Science in Chemical Engineering, MHD Amjad Abu Shama. Adeniji Emmanuel Adetayo. Avinash Gopal Bajaj. Anupam Kirti Gudanti. Ashik Mahmood. Sandeep Kumar Pudi. Prathamesh Hajit Purohit. Damilola Oluwatosin Runshewe. And now we have Master of Engineering in Chemical Engineering, Gautam Buddha. Sravan Kumar Danda. Abhinav Galgilam. Nitish Vinay Sin. And now we have Master of Engineering in Civil Engineering, Prakash Dahal. Suman Gautam. Bijay Upreti. And now we have Master of Engineering Science in Environmental Engineering, Kiran Gurung. Gabrielle J. Savor. Alfred Kwabina Egir Wadier. Mohammed Foyazur Raham. And now we have Master of Engineering in Electrical Engineering, Jubair Ahmad Fnu. Sanjis Jung Tapa. Harshith Virukonda. And now we have Master of Engineering in Civil and Industrial Engineering, Arun Kumar Garasijan. Karthik Jayamani. And now we have Master of Engineering Management, Gbadebo Tella Adewusi. Sai Tarun Reddy Chamala Gopali. Ashwin Ganesh. Venkata Praneet Garapati. Surya Sriharsha Gubala. Sahitya Gulapali. Kaushik Kunamari. Akash Chanabudai Kukadai. Jaswath Markala. Hendis Johns Panakal. Karthik Kailan Raj Kumar Yasoda. Pramod Sufakasi. And now we have Master of Engineering Science in Mechanical Engineering. Yogendra Chatanchedra Jahadri. Smith Sanjay Kumar Desai. Mohammed Kari Al-Babari. Islam Ahmed Hammam. Ashke Pranabeshai Patel. Parth Kumar Jaswantabai Patel. Pravin Tapamajar. Manisha Triparthi. And now we have Master of Engineering in Mechanical Engineering. Pallav Vikas Baharte. Naga Venkanta Harish Chitikela. Mustafa M. Hassan. Vamsi Varma Ganaparti. Hasim Farouk Khan. Sai Bhargav Nuvali. Saurabh Navinbhai Patel. Kenil Gurishkumar Savani. Khan Mohammed Sabman Shams. Jamit Mehabasbai Takar. Ankush Yadav. And now we have Bachelor of Science in Chemical Engineering. Malay Victorine A. Akpa. Joanna Chavez, magna cum laude. Tuyet T. Win, summa cum laude. Sabrina Gonzalez Smith. Luis Angel Villagamino. Shreya Naomi Whitlock. And now we have Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering and Mathematics. Kyle Alexis Tyler Edwards, summa cum laude. And now we have Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering. Brandon Anthony Watkins. And now we have Bachelor of Science in Electrical Engineering. Mark Fanos. And now we have Bachelor of Science in Industrial Technology. Brent Lee Cole. Troy E. DeVillier, magna cum laude. Dabani Janet Esquivel. Michael Aaron Everett. Sean Allen Hubert. Thomas Randall Huggins. John Trent Lee. Daryl Brandon Marsh. Tavares Bryant Moody. Crystal R. Nobles. Craig Thomas Odell. Eric Russell Player. Chad Wade Smith. Dalton Keith Washburn. William Travis With. Lawrence Benny Williams, Jr. And now we have Bachelor of Science in Mechanical Engineering and Mathematics. Alan Michael Godinez. And now we have Bachelor of Science in Mechanical Engineering. Matthew Ross Broussard. Garrett Lee Glatfelter. Mario Enrique Guzman. Paul Gary Hilliard. Mary Nicole Ray. Logan Edward Rame. Christopher Dean Sweat. Rashawn Atlee Washington Webster. Bryce Allen Whaley. Humberto Cepeda Lopez.
In this part of our commencement activities, we celebrate the induction of our engineering graduates into the Order of the Engineer. I will provide a brief history of the Order of the Engineer and describe the significance of the engineer's ring in the context of the responsibilities attached to our profession. Following the history, Dr. Liev Hasselbach will administer the oath, and I would like to ask that engineers among the faculty and audience join the graduates in accepting the obligation of the engineer. Graduates, the faculty and staff of the College of Engineering join me in congratulating you on your achievements and thanking you for sharing the past 4 or 5 or even more years with us. You are the engineers of the 21st century. We are confident that you will be using the technical knowledge that you have gained here at Lamar University to make our world a better place, and we will be taking pride in your accomplishments. You are now moving from the academic world where you have studied engineering to the challenging world of practicing engineering. As you make this transition, you are about to take the engineer's oath and be inducted into the Order of the Engineer. The purpose of this ceremony is to call attention to the obligation of all engineers to use our technical education ethically in shaping the world around us. You have taken the first step. You have accepted the challenge of obtaining an engineering education. Now you are embarking on the second part of your journey, the practice of your profession, and you must pay heed to the obligation of the engineer if you are to fulfill the promise this day holds. The Order of the Engineer originated in 1926 when our engineering counterparts in Canada recognized the special obligation of engineers to one another, to the profession, and to the public they serve. Based on the model of our Canadian colleagues, the Order of the Engineer was established in the United States in 1970. Those of you who are joining the Order of the Engineer today have received a certificate and a steel ring to be worn on the little finger of the working hand. The history of the ring is associated with the construction of a bridge across the St. Lawrence River in Quebec in the early 1900s. On August 29, 1907, when the bridge was nearly finished, the southern cantilever span twisted and fell into the St. Lawrence River. 75 workmen were killed in Canada's worst bridge disaster. An inquiry established that the accident had been caused by faulty design and inadequate engineering supervision of the construction. Work was resumed, but on September 11, 1916, a new center span being hoisted into position fell into the river, killing 13 men. The bridge was completed in 1917 and officially opened August 22, 1919. That bridge is still in use today. Legend has it that one of the twisted iron pipes from the first bridge was sliced into rings and worn by engineers to remind them of their solemn responsibilities to the public we serve. After accepting the obligation of the engineer, you will be presented with your own engineer's ring. You are to wear the engineer's ring on the small finger of the working hand so that it will remind you every time you sign a set of plans, contract documents, or design specifications. The ring you receive is a symbol of the strength and continuity of our name. Remember that the work of the engineers has a profound effect on the health, safety, and welfare of the public you serve. The profession, the engineer's ring says to all who see it, here is an engineer, a person with technical knowledge and, more importantly, a publicly avowed dedication to use that knowledge ethically, always keeping paramount the public health and safety. Each of you among the graduates, faculty, and audience who possess an engineering education and are willing to subscribe to the Engineering Code of Ethics are now invited to join the Order of the Engineer and accept the engineer's ring. Dr. Hasselbach will lead you in the recital of the obligation of the engineer. You must accept the obligation seriously and with pride in yourself, your college, and your profession. Please consider the words carefully and remember always that our engineering knowledge carries with it the obligation to serve humanity with complete integrity and honesty. Dr. Hasselbach, please administer the engineer's oath to our candidates. I would like to ask the engineers among the faculty and audience to join the graduates in accepting the obligation of the engineer.
Good morning. Would those students who signed up for the Order of the Engineer please stand and remain standing? Would all candidates for the doctoral degree in engineering please stand and remain standing? Would all candidates for the master's degrees in engineering please stand and remain standing? And would all the candidates for the bachelor's degrees in engineering please stand and remain standing? Would all faculty members from the College of Engineering please stand and remain standing? And would all the members of the audience who are practicing engineers please stand and remain standing? All right. For those of you who are standing, I would like you to join me in reciting the obligation of an engineer. The obligation is printed in your program, and you will recite only the parts that are in bold along with me. I am an engineer. In my profession, I take deep pride. To it, I owe solemn obligations. Since the Stone Age, human progress has been spurred by the engineering genius. Engineers have made usable nature's vast resources of material and energy for humanity's benefit. Engineers have vitalized and turned to practical use the principles of science and the means of technology. Were it not for the heritage of accumulated experience, my efforts would be feeble. As an engineer, I pledge to practice integrity and fair dealing, tolerance and respect, and to uphold devotion to the standards and the dignity of my profession. Conscious always that my skill carries with it the obligation to serve humanity by making the best use of Earth's precious wealth. As an engineer, I shall participate in none but honest enterprises. When needed, my skill and knowledge shall be given without reservation for the public good. In the performance of duty and in fidelity to my profession, I shall give the utmost. Please be seated. Those who have joined the Order of the Engineer, please place your ring on the little finger of your working hand. Thank you.
New members of the Order of the Engineer, you will notice that the certificate you received today has a place for a signature, but it has not been signed. This is not a mistake or an oversight. You are to sign the certificate because ultimately you are the only person who can and must assure that you adhere to the engineering code of ethics, thereby protecting the health, safety, and welfare of the public you serve, as well as the reputation and integrity of our profession. As we close, please consider these words from the Royal Bank letter. We in the developed countries live in the realm of the engineer. From the moment we turn on the water in the morning until we turn off lights at night, we are surrounded by engineered structures, systems, products, and processes. They help to feed, shelter, clothe, transport, comfort, and entertain us, and allow us to communicate invisibly with one another. No matter what we do for a living, much of our own work is done with things made by engineers. The engineer himself or herself has faded into the landscape along with his all-pervasive output. We know the names of the sculptors and architects whose works grace our big cities, but who knows who actually erected the buildings and bridges, who cut the streets and installed the pipes and wires that make a city run? In any list of historical persons, engineers rank far below monarchs, politicians, and generals. The reason for this is simple. Engineers normally solve problems instead of creating them, and a problem solved is a problem out of mind. The fate of man now more than ever hangs in the balance, and engineers will play a crucial part in determining whether that fate will be blessed or cursed by the application of technology. Enormous problems still haunt the world, and many of these problems have been man-made. But if anyone can do something to solve them, it is the engineer, who has been working to make life better for people since the dawn of history. It is a huge responsibility to be placed on a profession. But then, engineers have always managed to do the things that need to be done. On behalf of the Board of Governors of the Order of the Engineer, I welcome you to the engineering profession and wish you well in the exciting technical challenges before you. Would the graduates of all degrees and all departments please stand? Please join me in congratulating the College of Engineering graduating class of December 2017 one more time. Please be seated. Graduates, today you join more than 80,000 others throughout the world who are Lamar alumni. I would like to take this opportunity to recommend that you join with them by joining the Lamar University Alumni Association. Alumni membership provides continued involvement with the university, networking, and opportunities to help other students achieve what you have achieved. I encourage you to join this important arm of the university. Again, congratulations and thank you for sharing commencement with us. Best wishes to all our graduates. Following the recessional, we will host a reception on the front balcony of the Montaigne Center. All graduates and guests are invited to mingle with our faculty, enjoy refreshments, and maybe even pose for a picture or two. I hope to see you there. Please stand and join Sardar Ilban for Lamar's alma mater.
Lamar, to thee we're singing, voices raised on high. We will forever love thee, laud thee to the sky. Our guiding star, to us you'll always be our glorious Lamar.